Hi folks, Silly Moustache here. I've just done a video that I haven't uploaded yet about this, my latest acquisition, an Eastman E4000. And it got me to thinking, I'm a dread player. I love playing my 12 fret dreadnoughts when I'm performing. And I've got a little collection here now of smaller bodied guitars based on Martin designs. I'm very much into Martin designs, whilst I have respect for some of the great stuff that came out of Gibson, the archtops initially, and then in the 20s they went into the flat top market, competing directly against Martin. Martin designs were determined about the turn of the century or a little bit before. They've been making them since the 1830s, we all know that. But I've got a 1924 Martin catalogue, guitar catalogue. Yep, it's all in here. And they standardised their shapes in special ways, and I'd just like to share that with you. Where are we? There is a lovely description that says it all here. Guitars are made regularly in four sizes. Four sizes. It's a fifth one mentioned. A number 2, which is an amateur size. Now you will see Martin 217s come up, which are all mahogany bodies, and they're described in here as for general knockabout use. I actually had one in the 70s and it was a sweet guitar. Number 2, and then they go to size 0, which is called concert, which is this size. I'm juggling with guitars around me here. This is a size O. It's an Eastman version called a P for parlour, but it's a concert size guitar. Martin made their sizes considering the size of venue and the size of the audience. And then they went on to the double O, and there we have my new acquisition, double O, which came out in 1902. The O came out in 1898, as did the O and the double O came out in 1898. Yeah, and in 1902, oh brave new world, they went really big with the triple O, which some people would still call a parlour guitar, but it isn't, and it was in fact the largest guitar that Martin made until the dreadnought came out, the 12 fret dreadnought in 1931. And so they stayed pretty much from 1902 to 1931. And then of course we had this radical change of use for instruments. They stopped being made with the wider necks and 12 fret body for fingerstyle players and became rhythm instruments, hence the 14 fret neck of the OM 1929 to 33, and then the dreadnought. Just large plectrum guitars more. So no one mentioned the size 1. We had the size 2 amateur, the size O concert, the double O was a grand concert, and the triple O was an auditorium. What's happened to the 1? That was the standard. Who's ever seen a size 1? Well, they are about, but they're all pretty rare, and they were kind of neglected in this catalogue. Having said that, the O, the double O and the triple O show no signs of wimpy sounds, and I'm going to kind of prove that with this little one that I bought just about a year ago, the size O, which has the power. These are light gauge strings, short scale. I would love the opportunity to play an early Martin size O. I think it might cost more than the Eastman, and I believe that Collings are now doing a size O 12 fret. Oh dear, there's a change. Where was I? I've lost my place. Yes. So they weren't designed for heavy rhythm. They were designed for projecting into varying sizes of venues. Back in the day, they offered these in a style, and that's the trim level, and the woods. There was a 17, style 17, which was all mahogany, just like the style 217 that we know, which incidentally was the first one that could be built to take the strain of steel strings. Then the 18, as you know, D18s, OM18s, things like that, and which is a mahogany back and sides, spruce top. There was a style 21, and I have seen some of these 21s. I've seen a Brazilian rosewood and spruce top, but it's got the very plain front like the D18, but the rosewood back and sides. And then of course the 28, which had the rosewood back and sides, the spruce top, and most of them, apart from in the 70s and 80s, had the herringbone trim on the front. And then we get to the fancy stuff, style 42 and 45. Very little difference, but it's all about the abalone. And I think that this would indicate a 45, but it doesn't have the trim on the back, and it has the torch inlay, which I don't think the 42s had. So there we are, but it's all about decoration. It's not about sound or size or anything like that. I love my dreads, and I love my 12 strings. They're strong, dynamic, and I prefer them really in mahogany. But for smaller guitars, I prefer the complexity of rosewood. For smaller guitars, my first one, as I had mentioned before, was one that my wife had built for me in 1998. 28 style, rosewood back and sides. My second smaller guitar was my Collings 002H with my ideal nut width of 1 13/16 to 2 5/16 over a standard scale, 25.5 in this case. And then of course my third one was this Waterloo. I think there must be some sentiment in this because it's the blues guitar, you know. It's a maple back and sides. It's a rather gaudy finish, as you can see, but nothing on the back. Maple is just stained dark brown, and it's got a very direct, simple tone, reminiscent of cheaper Gibson styles, of course. And then of course just last year I went for this size O, which I am very, very fond of and had no problems with, and it's darkened down, got a nice bit of tone. And then earlier this week, the Bling Master, all of this stuff. Right, so why all these smaller bodies? I've got a theory. I always have a theory. I think it's for two main reasons. One, age. I'm a baby boomer. I was born in 1948. I see lots of people of my age group complaining on forums and such of neck pain and shoulder pain, particularly when playing their larger guitars. Why? Well, dreads and jumbos were not designed for playing sitting on a couch. And if you happen to have a bit of arthritis or a bit of reduced muscle strength, which does reduce as you age, or perhaps you have a larger a waistline, and maybe poor posture, all contribute to shoulder issues when you think of having a big fat body where you're pushed up by your tummy and pulling your shoulder over while you're on your lazy boy. Not going to work, is it? So maybe smaller, thinner bodies suit the larger, wider player. I'm actually thinner and fitter than I was, say, 3 or 4 years ago, so I don't have these issues. But these things suit me for playing at home as much, in fact, more than my dreads. This brings me to my second point. I love my dreads for performing. COVID-19. No gigs, no practices, no performing. So what are you going to do when you're sitting at home playing? A nice little pretty guitar. Maybe sitting in your den or your lounge or my conservatory. So I think Martin have kind of missed a trick by discontinuing the vintage series, the triple O or the D1828 VS 12 fret slotted headstock, 1 3/4 nut, 12 dreadnoughts, and the triple O and the double O. They were beautiful instruments and they've discontinued them, maybe at the wrong time. So anyway, there you are. That's my smaller guitars, and that's why I play them, and that's probably why they are becoming rather fashionable once again. If you have been, thanks for listening, and stay safe. Do what you need to keep this COVID stuff at bay. Take care. Bye.